All right, today we're talking about sugar. I kind of count my carbs pretty religiously, so it's important to me how much sugar I put in my drinks. We're making a 2-to-1 using Turbinado, so obviously the sugar content is going to be pretty high per ml. I'm going to show you exactly how to calculate when you're making simple syrups, how much sugar is in each milliliter, which will help you determine how much is in a half ounce, and so be it. Here we have 1/4 of a cup of turbinado sugar. Great sugar to use for old fashions, rum drinks, things like that. That should be about 48 grams, as you can see there. So we're gonna add 24 grams of water, which is 24 milliliters, 1 gram per milliliter, its density of water. Get that in there. Now, the reason we're doing 24 is because 24 grams of water to 48 grams of sugar is a 2-to-1, which would make a rich syrup. I'm going to mix this up, and then if it doesn't mix all the way, which I don't believe it will, we're just going to heat it up a little bit on the stove to make sure not to boil it, and then we are going to do our calculations. Careful not to boil it, and hopefully it will be the same amount of grams, which should be 48 plus 24, which should be 72. All right, so it looks like we lost a little bit to evaporation. That's going to happen, obviously, when you're making it. So just going to pull and just add a few drips until we get there, just to make the math better. All right. So we're at our original. The reason I did that is because I want to do exactly 2-to-1. Now that we have that, what I want to show you is just how many mLs this becomes, because then we can take the amount of grams that were initially put into the milliliters, and then boom, now we have the amount of grams of sugar per milliliter, and you'll know how much sugar is in all of your syrups. This is a 60 milliliter syringe. So what I'm getting is almost 55. Now there's still like a little tiny bit in there. Could be, I don't know, like half a milliliter. So we're going to go to 55. So you're going to take 48 grams, divide that by the total volume at the end. That's going to give you 48 over 55, which is, I will put the number on the screen because I can't do the math. Those numbers, if you're doing half an ounce, which is 15 milliliters, or if you're doing a full ounce, which is 30 milliliters, you now know how much your syrup is. So I tend to like to do this because I can then figure out exactly how many grams of sugar are in each of my amounts of syrup that I put into my different cocktails, and it can give me a much more precise calorie and carb content of my cocktails, which helps me, even though I typically stay keto or low carb, or sometimes I do carnivore diet. It allows me to better understand what it is I am ingesting.